Right, we're on. Today we're going to talk about disassociation from the bottom half of the body to the top half of the body. Disassociation. Right, before we start this video, don't forget to subscribe. Also, links below will be to our podcast, myself and Sam Anderson. Don't miss that out. We're on week 11 now, I think. It's unbelievable. It's all over the world. But the subscribe button, that's probably more important to me. Right, we're on. Today we're going to talk about the disassociation, good word, between the lower body and the upper body. When the upper body gets more active than the lower from the top of the swing, that's when the club shaft gets steep, that's when we come over the top, that's when we get slices and pulls. We need to disassociate the bottom half of the body from the top half of the body. Vice versa, if we're too active with the bottom half, then we can be too shallow and we can pop the ball out to the right. There's lots of different things that can happen, but certainly understanding how we can get the bottom half of the body to work away from the top half can increase forward shaft lean, can increase the penetration of ball flight, and can also prevent that slice from happening. No more over the top. No more! So disassociation from the bottom half of the body and the top half of the body. What an interesting subject. Here we go. Right, as I mentioned, if the top half gets too active, then that's when the club stands up. That's when we get this. Top of the swing, top half gets too active. That happens, not good. The steepness of the shaft on the way down, coming inside your target line. The only one thing that can happen there is we can early extend, the club's going to come towards us, so we stand up. Path's going left, we've got that slice or pull. If we get the bottom half of the body to work first, top of swing, bottom half to work first, then the hands and the club will stay more behind. Bottom half works first, hands and the clubs are going to stay more behind, then from there we can continue to hit golf shot. But we need to understand, how do we get that disassociation? How do we break the habit of both bottom and top starting together, or top outriding the bottom? How do we get into that position? How do we train the body to do that? If you know anyone from the Titleist Performance Institute, TPI, they will certainly help you with this. I'm not qualified in that, but certainly having a little bit of understanding of how I can get that disassociation will flatten the club. If I play baseball and I pitch the ball, now I don't play baseball, but if I play baseball and pitch the ball, I get into this position, and from there I step the foot forward as the shoulders stay open. So I've opened the hips before the shoulders. There's disassociation there. It's being able to move the bottom half while leaving the top half quiet as possible. So a little bit of training is going to have to happen there. That's not a natural golf swing motion, not for many golfers anyway. So we're going to have to find some form of exercise to be able to do that, to encourage this to happen, and encourage that pitcher motion or that lower half moving before top half, just to enable us to relax the top half of the body and get the club shaft to lie on a flatter plane on the way down. Obviously preventing that out to end path, which is the key thing we're after here. So if I stand in my address position next to the wall, and I put my hands on the wall, and from there my vision, my focus is trying to keep the shoulders as square as I can, but get the bottom half to turn. So if I do my back swing, so my shoulders have stayed square but my hips have turned, and then follow through, again trying to keep shoulders as square as I can, and try and create some form of motion. Trying to get the hips to work or disassociate themselves from the shoulders. So right hip back, left hip back, right hip back, left hip back. I can feel it in the bottom half, I can feel it in my lower back. Again trying to keep my shoulders as square as possible, not easy. Right hip back, left hip back, right hip back, left hip back. Trying to keep these shoulders square. It's definitely not an easy thing to do, it's definitely not a natural thing to do. If I take my address position, cross the club over my arms, I can now have a visual as to where my shoulders are going to go. Are they going to open, are they going to close? I want to keep that point towards a specific target down the range, but I want to feel as though I can get right hip back, left hip back. So I'm keeping that there, right hip back, left hip back, right back, left back. I can really feel that in my lower back. In fact, that's actually quite sore. Which obviously means it's working. So the most important one for me here is trying to feel as though I can get the left hip to go back, because that's going to be the start of the downswing, while keeping the shoulders square. I don't want to be applying any more pressure with my right hand here to hold the right shoulder back as the left hip goes back. I want to try and keep them nice and natural, nice and still. There we go. Trying to create that disassociation. So that's all very well, that's all done. Now I need to try and put that into practice. It's not going to be easy. So firstly we need to keep balance. Balance is being able to swing the golf club as fast and powerful as I can, maintaining my stance or doing so within the parameters of my stance. I don't want to be moving away off the ball. I want to be able to swing as fast and hard as I possibly can within the stance I've adopted. I want to get to the top of my backswing here. I open my feet slightly, which opens my hips, which is going to give me a head start. EUREKA golf swing, of course. Up to there, then from there I want to feel as though my hips disassociate myself from the shoulders. So my shoulders are here, and my hips are, hold on, I'm going to put this out to the left side of me, not central, but to the left, because I've got a much better visual. Top of my swing. There, shoulders are turned X amount in comparison to the yellow cane. Then from there I'm going to try and feel as though I can get a disassociation from this position. There we go. Left it back, shoulders stay square. So I'm able to get some form of disassociation. It's not as much a range as I'd like to get, but certainly it's there. Then of course if that goes first, then the shoulders can follow. That's moved the axis of our swing, so therefore we'll be able to get that club shaft to lie a little bit flatter, assuming I can put that all into practice. Into motion as I hit a shot. Up to there, disassociation. Up to there, disassociation. Try to feel that. There, left hip back. There, left hip back. And as I say, that's going to keep the club and the hands behind you. This club's now going to lie on the right forearm on the way down and not be standing up this way on the left forearm. It's going to be more on right forearm because the hips have moved out of the way. Just a fraction. Just starting that downswing with the left hip going behind you. Same idea. That's good, that's powerful. Same again. There. Trying to create that disassociation, that feeling is what I'm after. That was really good. Whew. So there we go, hope all that made sense. Of course it made sense. Trying to disassociate the bottom half of the body. The drill on the wall is really good. You can really feel it in your lower back. Then taking it on using the club across the chest to feel it, so it's more golf related. Really feel it in the lower back. Swinging the club, I did a couple of times there, which I never really emphasised on, but certainly trying to swing the club as if I'm a pitcher at baseball. Bottom half, then top half. Again, all these things are recreating that motion, which is going to put that club flatter on that right forearm on the way down and not standing up quite as much to try and get rid of that slice.